Oh, well, we're live. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm the Dependent Fanatic, and today we have a special guest here with me, Cousin Adam.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Dependent.
All right. Well, not only that, I have a special guest, but here today is a huge Michigan fan as well, as you can see by his hat.
Go Blue.
He himself does pay a lot of attention to football, but he does have a big family, huge responsibilities, and other stuff that comes along with that. So I'm glad he is here. He's getting paid with burgers and pasta tonight. Oh, I can't wait either. On the grill. He has agreed to compare college football playoff brackets and predictions for the 2024-2025 season. And we welcome Adam.
Well, I got to say thank you for having me, and I got to also let all your listeners and viewers know that they might not like what I got to say about some of their favorite teams, but
Okay.
I'm not just a homer. Remember that.
Foreshadowing there from Adam. Is there anything you want to say about yourself or me before we get started? Hopefully, nothing embarrassing.
Well,
me. He's
I
my
want,
cousin. We go way back. He can say whatever, but
and I promise I won't say anything too bad, like you listen to Britney Spears or anything like that. But I remember
I was 9. She was hot.
I had the poster too. It's okay. So no, I'm going to be fair with how I treat everything, and you're going to be surprised with some of this, I think.
All right. Well, shall we get started with who we have in the playoff first? The 12 teams that we have.
I like it.
From, it doesn't matter what seed, just the 12 teams you got.
Okay, just give them to you in any order.
Yep.
We're going to go one at a
Do
time.
you want me to go first?
Let's have you go first.
All right, I'll go
Give
first.
the fan base what they want.
My top 5 conference champions are the automatic qualifiers in this 12-team playoff. And well, let me just go ahead and break down the rules. They are guaranteed in, which means a group of 5 team is also guaranteed in this playoff. There could be 2 of them if they have the strength of record. The top 4 conference champs will be seeded 1 through 4 and have a first round bye. These teams will play in 4 of the 6 major bowl games at the end of the year. They will be decided by the traditional bowl tie-ins. The other 2 major bowls will be the semifinal games this year, is the Orange and Cotton Bowl. So teams 5 through 12 will be seeded by the committee regardless if it sets up a rematch or not. Bowls will the fifth champion can be seeded anywhere. So, say it is the group of 5 team that is the 5th champion, they can be seeded 12. I think in this format, not everyone is an automatic qualifier. You have to value strength of record rather than just wins, losses more than ever, which is why I believe, foreshadowing here, I have a 10-2 Penn State out of the playoff for a 9-3 Texas A&M team. Also, Virginia Tech is out because of strength of record. So, my 12 teams. Number 1 seed for me is Georgia with wins versus Clemson, at Kentucky, Auburn, at Texas, Florida, at Ole Miss, Tennessee, and then Alabama in their conference championship game. Yes, they do not beat them in the regular season, but I believe Georgia gets revenge in the SEC title game. Number 2 for me is Michigan. 12-1 wins versus Fresno State, Texas, USC, Oregon, all at home, and Ohio State in the conference championship game. Similar to the SEC, I think Michigan loses at Columbus, but avenges its loss. And cue Michigan talk. What do you think about Michigan, where I have them right now?
Well, I kind of disagree with you. Where you got them at?
Number 2.
Number 2, yeah. No, that's way too high. I don't think Michigan's going to actually be able to get it done quite that way. I think they're going to have a great season. I think they're going to be the ones going 10-2 this year, though. I think Michigan's going to have a lot of problems, a lot of coaching changes, a lot of player changes in very significant roles. There's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of headaches going through the beginning of the season. I think they'll have it figured out by the time we kick Ohio's butt, but I think we're going to take some
So we're
lumps
gonna
on our
kick
way.
Ohio's butt, but not.
Yeah, we'll destroy Ohio. That's not a problem.
We'll see where you got them here coming up. Number 3 for me is Utah, 12-1, wins versus TCU and Kansas State in their title game. Their loss is at Oklahoma State. This is where strength of schedule record could hurt Utah compared to my next team, which is Florida State. But I do have Florida State behind them, 11-2, winners of the ACC. They will have wins versus Clemson, North Carolina, Florida, and Louisville in the championship, losses at Miami and at Notre Dame. And then my 5th conference champion, highest rated, is Liberty. I think they go 12-1, and they have wins versus nobody. Of course, the Group 5 team. So they will be the 12 seed. My 7 at-large teams that get in are, and it matters in seeding because of, what was that? HFA. What the hell is that?
Well, you wrote it down, dependent.
I wrote it down, but what is that? Anyway.
Hall of Fame awards.
That's what I was thinking. Because Liberty is not guaranteed the 5 seed. They are the 12 seed. My actual 5 seed in this playoff bracket will be Notre Dame. 12-0, wins at Texas A&M, Louisville at home, Florida State, and at USC.
It pains me to say, but Notre Dame's going to be there. There's no way you can deny them. They come in every season ranked high, overhyped. They don't play anybody, but they'll get the wins to make the playoffs.
All right, so we're in agreement there. All right. Alabama, number 6 for me, 11-2 in the SEC, wins versus Georgia, at Tennessee, Missouri, at LSU, and Auburn. Their losses will be at Oklahoma and Georgia in the conference championship game.
That's kind of that. All right. Oklahoma, that's kind of crazy, in my opinion. Oklahoma's never been able to put a strong defense out there, and Alabama, I think, is gonna just run the ball all over.
Oh yeah, they will, especially with Jalen Milroe, and that's what I'm saying. Alabama reminds me of Michigan this year. Defense, run. The quarterback can run.
Yeah, well, and that quarterback knows the sting of a Michigan defeat. So
that's very true. That's very true. Number 7 is Ohio State. 11-2. I was gonna say the, but I can't.
If you're gonna say the state, you might as well put the V in there.
I couldn't bring myself to say it. 11-2, wins versus Iowa, Nebraska, at Penn State, and Michigan at home. Losses at Oregon, and then Michigan in the rematch in the title game.
Ooh, that's gonna be
spicy, isn't it?
I'm hoping you're right.
They could play 3 times, and that's a little foreshadowing. All right, Texas is the number 8 seed for me. 10-2, wins versus Oklahoma, Florida at home, and at Texas A&M. Their losses are at Michigan and Georgia. So, them are not to be ashamed of. Michigan and Georgia, my best 2 teams. Are they too low, too high? What are you feeling about Texas?
Well,
can Michigan handle them?
I think week 2, it's going to be a struggle, and that's where I got one of my worries. But it's Texas, though. I don't think Texas defense is going to be able to stand up to Michigan's offense. And I think Michigan's defense is going to be able to corral whatever Texas can throw.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Texas, they lost their 2 great defensive interior players, and that doesn't bode well versus a team that is going to run down your throat.
It's going to come down if Coach Moore can get through to his new team and make it his team.
Yeah. And the same for Sarkisian. Can he get over the hump?
Yep.
So that'll be a fantastic game week 2. Can't wait. Number 9 seed for me is Ole Miss, 10-2. They have wins versus at LSU and Oklahoma, Losses are to Georgia and Florida. I think they get in.
I think Florida's going to be kind of an early runner through the SEC
That's
this year.
what I think too.
I think they're a dark horse. I don't see them making the playoffs, but I can see them ruining someone's season.
They got to play a lot of really good teams, maybe the hardest schedule in the nation, but it sets up pretty well for them. And if they are, in fact, a top 25 team themselves, then,
they remind me of an old-fashioned Michigan going into Illinois and should stomp them, but Illinois got Juice Newton, so.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then the final two teams in, I think the 10 seed is Texas A&M, like I said, 9-3, but they have wins versus Missouri, LSU, and at Auburn. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but I think all three of them teams are going to go 8-4. And their losses are going to be the two playoff teams, Notre Dame and Texas, and then a loss at Florida, an 8-4 team, which we just talked about. So no shame there. I think that's a better schedule than what Oregon will have. Yes, Oregon's number 11 in my seeding, way down there, 10-2. Only one good win, and that's Ohio State at home. And losses at Michigan and at Wisconsin. So is Penn State's record better than Oregon's at 10-2? Also a win on the road, but it's West Virginia. And their losses are at USC and then Ohio State.
Well, and I understand the Pac-12 coming into this game was electric. But the Pac-12 is not ready to play consistent Big Ten football.
The new teams from the Pac-12.
The new Pac-12 teams coming in, Oregon, Washington, they're great teams. They're not built yet to run through what Big Ten football is. It's a whole new animal. You can prepare from week to week for bowl seasons. I know what a lot of people will say when it comes to the bowl seasons.
Until
Big Ten does get beat, but when you can prepare for one team, that's one thing. The Big Ten is a gauntlet. It has always been a gauntlet.
Yeah.
The SEC is now finally waking up to the realization that, hey, if everyone's good, it gets hard, and we don't all look that good.
Exactly. Yeah, and they're all going to beat each other up this year. But I think it's their non-conference wins that will get them the most teams in. I have 5 SEC teams.
They're starting to look like they're starting to figure it out that you need to play somebody. You can't just schedule.
And it's the Big Ten now that's not having that strong non-conference.
Yep. But I still argue the Big Ten schedule is still harder to go through as a conference.
I agree. From week to week to
From
week, there's
it's
no
a battle.
I mean, we have Indiana, but they're better than Vanderbilt. Right?
But Indiana's also been known they'll jack up 52 points in a game.
Yeah.
Easy. It can happen. That's what makes college football so good.
Okay. So, what are your 10 or your 12?
Well, I'll just go straight down the list for how I think the season's going to end. Be your top 12 teams. Yeah. I think you're going to have.
Well, I'll help you seed them. We're going to go through the bracket and pick the games on mine and yours.
All right. I'll start with Georgia at number 1. I think Georgia's got a good shot at winning everything. If everything works out good, they're too good.
Talented.
There's just too
coaching
much
is elite. They have a great quarterback.
The only one that I think is going to beat Georgia is Georgia. If they stay the course, they're good. Number 2, I got Penn State. I think Penn State is going to run the tables this year.
Wow, you're a believer in Drew Aller.
I think it's going to happen because I think Michigan's not ready just yet. I think Coach Moore and Orgy's a great combination. I just don't think they're ready to 1, 2, 3 punch it all the way to the end. Edwards is a great halfback. I can't wait to see he finally gets his chance.
Well, they don't play Michigan. Penn State doesn't play Michigan, so but
and that's another reason I think Penn State is gonna run the tables. There's not a lot standing in their way. Uh, on that,
I'm with you on Penn State. I don't know where to put them. I know that they're on the outside looking in my bracket, but they could very well be in with 10-2. Depends on what the committee values.
and exactly what, and that's what we don't know. It's 12 teams. We don't know what they're going to do. Are we looking for ratings and money, or are we putting the best 12 teams in?
Yeah.
That's something that's always been a problem. At number 3, I got FSU. I think they're coming back with a vengeance. They're going to come back with some attitude. Number 4, yeah, that's going to be Alabama. They're going to lose to Georgia. That's going to that'll be
one
it.
loss. So you're a believer in DeBoer.
Yep.
And
I think they're not overrated this year because Alabama's very rarely ever overrated, and that's just a Michigan fan talking. But they're the real deal.
They're always right where they should be.
Yep. Taking names. Number 5, I'd throw Utah.
All right, you got my Utes in there.
I for the last 5 years, they've been checking some boxes and they've been making some headway.
Whittingham has that program.
They've been
humming.
They're building it. They remind me of an old Michigan State. They're under D'Antonio.
Yeah.
They've been sitting there. They've been building, and no one ever takes them serious. I think this is the year they're going to start making some heads actually pay attention.
Okay.
Number 6, I got the boys in blue.
Okay, not too low.
No, not too low. We're the second Big Ten team in.
They're in the playoffs.
They're going to make the playoffs, but I think a lot of that's going to be on credit from our last season. Our schedule doesn't look gentle this year.
Most people say that, yeah. It's difficult, the 5 games that we have.
And even like I was saying earlier on how it's going to be a struggle with the new Pac teams coming in. They're still good. They're going to take us to the house. It's going to be good games. I can't wait for this season. Yeah. It's going to be some good games.
They're going to create problems for the Big Ten, the existing Big Ten teams. That's for sure. But can they muster up a physicality and a defense to slow these offensive teams from the existing Big Ten down?
I think that's going to be a bit of a problem for them. Yeah. Number 7, I got Ohio. Add the state.
That's where I had them, right? Yeah. Number 7. Behind Michigan.
And I think they just went too big. I think they're trying too hard.
Trying to buy a title instead of letting it happen naturally.
And you can do that in Major League Baseball, but you can't do that in football. Because what you're doing is you're bringing in, now you got 2 head coaches. Who's calling the plays?
Yeah,
who's in charge? How many arguments are you going to have on the sidelines? What's the drama behind that season, I think, is why Michigan will get the edge on them. And then at number 8, I got Notre Dame.
All right, man.
Number 9, Mississippi State. Number 10,
Mississippi State or Mississippi?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State?
Yep.
I think you're confused there. It might be Ole Miss you're thinking of. Lane Kiffin.
Oh, yep.
Jackson.
Yep, you are right.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me put the hole there.
Mississippi State.
Yep.
No way in hell they're making a college football playoff.
Yep. My bad.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Number 10, I got Oregon. Number 11, I got Ball State.
A MAC team?
12 teams getting to the playoff. Everyone is going to beat everybody up. And then you're going to be sitting there looking at a 12-0 Ball State. You can't leave them out.
Wow, yeah. If they do go undefeated,
you can't. That's why the playoffs.
They'd be
that's what this 12
my
team
Liberty team with 1 loss. Yeah.
And number 12, I got Liberty.
Fascinating pick right there. I like that Ball State pick.
And at number 12, I do have Liberty getting in.
Wow, so you have 2, a group of 5 teams.
Because I think that's what this playoff was created for. If you can't just put all the big names in to make it a money thing.
So
You can't have
you expect more parity.
yes, because you can't have 8 teams from 2 conferences.
So a 3-loss team like I have is no part in your playoff.
Exactly. There's no. You have to put the best of the best if that's what you're gonna do. If you're gonna have 12 teams, then put that dark horse underdog in there. If he gets his butt whooped, which 9 times out of 10 he will, but college football is all about that one time, that one chance.
Yeah, and it happens. Look at Boise States and the Tulane.
Yeah, and that's what exactly. TCU taking Michigan down. That's what that's all about. That chance to get in there to make a name for yourself.
That's very true, but are they deserving?
Oh, I don't think the college football committee is going to have anything to do with my list, but
but them are your team.
That's what I think it should be.
Fair enough. All right, let's talk about now that we've had these teams seeded. Let's talk about the first round. These games are going to be home games for the higher seed. After we seeded the teams, this is the first round. In South Bend, I have the 12 seed Liberty taking on the 5 seed Notre Dame. The winner plays Florida State. And of course, Notre Dame wins this game. It's Liberty football after all. They are playing. And I think that's enough, which would lead to a rematch of Florida State and Notre Dame, in which Notre Dame won in the regular season. So it'll be a rematch there. My playoff is loaded with rematches. My conference titles were loaded with rematches. But something that you don't like. You want to see other teams that
I do like rematches, but I like rematches that are earned and deserved. I don't want to see a rematch of 48-22 blowout victory.
Yeah, it's got to be close.
I want to see a real game.
Real top teams with the
But if it comes out in the play, I mean, that's what the playoffs are going to be about, though. You're going to see the top teams play each other again.
Yeah. Which is why I think, what do you think about removing the conference championship game?
I'm in favor of getting you're playing too many games already. These are college kids. There's no reason to be playing a
just name a conference.
Just like it used to be back in the day. Whoever wins, wins.
Because they're going to play again anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to have the winner. You'll have that rematch game. There's no point in having 3.
I'm with you.
You don't need the tiebreaker. You need the rematch. That's what college is about.
Yes. New opportunities for new teams. Yes. I agree with you there. All right. Now, my second first round game is in Austin. Number 9, Ole Miss will take on number 8, Texas. The winner of this game will play number 1, Georgia. All right. You got that?
Nope.
Because you need to know. Just look at your 9 seed and your 8 seed. Put them in a bracket.
All right. 9 and 8.
Yep. And the winner of that will play the number 1 seed.
All right. Winner of that plays the number 1 seed.
Yep.
What was the last one set up for me? Sorry, everybody. I'm not good at all this. I'm not the dependent fanatic.
It's all right. Liberty is, or not, you don't want to know my 12 seed. 12 seed will play 5 seed, and then the winner of that will play the 4 seed. So 12 versus 5 will play the 4 seed.
All right. What's it look like on the other side?
All right. The other side is the 11 seed will play the 6 seed, and the winner of that will play the 3 seed. And then the 10 seed will play the 7 seed. The winner of that will play the 2 seed.
All right.
So there's our break.
Perfecto.
We got it figured out now.
Oh,
hey, Assistant Heather's in the background moderating and doing a great job. Do we have any comments in the chat? Anything?
Tom said he would love to see Ohio State beat Bama.
Oh, yeah.
Tom?
That'd be sweet. Tom? Love you, man.
At the end of the day,
he's a regular.
At the end of the day, it's all about Big Ten. It has nothing to do with anybody else. I want to see us win.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, he's a regular commenter, Michigan fan, always here. Love you, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
So Ole Miss and Texas is a game in Austin. The winner plays Georgia. Georgia would have already beat both of these teams. So no, don't do anything.
Yeah, I was gonna push the right button.
Okay.
I know stuff.
Okay, we're both learning how to do live here. I don't know, but
I got
anyway.
kids.
yeah, you should know about
I
this.
know
shouldn't
some of them buttons.
Texas wins this game at home. Texas has a better defense, but if it comes down to quarterback duel between Jackson Dart and Quinn Ewers, I still pick Quinn Ewers in that battle. They're going to win that game and have a right for another rematch versus Georgia. All right. The Tuscaloosa match is number 11 Oregon versus number 6 Alabama. Winner will play number 3 Utah. I think Oregon wins this game. Milroe and O-line can only get you so far. Gabriel and Oregon have pretty good defense. To say Oregon wins in Tuscaloosa means it's probably going to be a huge upset. I cannot wait for this matchup between Dan Lanning and Kalen DeBoer back at it in the playoff. And then in Columbus, Ohio State will get a home game, and that's versus Texas A&M. So the winner will play, guess what? Number 2, Michigan. I think it's going to be a rematch. Ohio State will have been undefeated at home. Ohio State drawing Texas A&M is perfect for them. A 9-3 team in round 1, because it will get them over that loss to Michigan in the Big Ten title game. So now they'll have to re-energize themselves and play Michigan again after that, with a chance to go 2-1 versus Michigan in the quarterfinal game. So I have Notre Dame versus Florida State. I have Texas versus Georgia. I have Alabama versus Utah, and I have Ohio State versus Michigan.
Man, that's
wouldn't that be something?
You'd make Vegas so much money if you're right. You're gonna have people drooling. I'd be salivating over that Michigan Ohio rematch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
give us one more for the year.
Yep. Man, 3 times in one year. Can you imagine?
So, are you ready for my assessment of mine?
Let's see who you got.
All right. Well, I would have Ball State taking on Michigan. I think Michigan's going to walk away with that pretty self-handedly in check.
All right, yeah. I agree with that.
And then I'd have Michigan taking on Florida State. I think Florida State comes up with that win. I love my Wolverines to death. I just don't think we're going to get it done.
Okay, so you're getting into the Final Four already.
Oh, all right. So you just want my basics. Okay. Yep. Well, spoiler alert. And then I'd have Oregon and Ohio State taking on each other. I think Ohio State's going to handle Oregon. I don't think Oregon is ready. Like I said before, by the time we get to that stage, I think Oregon's going to be a little bruised and beat up. And then you got to start taking into account who's going to go pro. How's that work this year?
Who goes pro from their team?
Who's going to be leaving early, or do they stick around now?
Well, I think if they're in the playoff, they stick around. I don't think it's going to be like the Bulls in years past where they sat out to keep their draft status.
It's going to be fun to see how that works.
Yeah, it is. What will their agent tell them to do? Because they're all making money in college
between NIL. Exactly. Now you're making millions playing college. It's a whole new game. It's a whole new system.
This is something that gives Michigan an upper hand, because we never have people sit out. No matter if they're going pro or not, it's the culture and mentality.
Yeah, those who stay will be champions.
Yeah, right.
After that, I got Ole Miss will be taking on Notre Dame.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob.
What's up, Bob?
I'm pretty confident in saying Notre Dame's going to destroy Ole Miss. I know I talk a lot of crap on Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame's got it. Then after that, it'd be Liberty and Utah. I'm pretty sure Utah's going to handle that without a problem, too. I love you, Liberty, but
Yep. Utah's no match.
Liberty's no
Liberty's no
match,
match
for
for
Utah.
Utah, that's for sure. Is that it? All right. So we're moving on now to Elite Eight, and we're gonna pick the winners of those games. Notre Dame versus Florida State in the Peach Bowl. I have Notre Dame winning at home, like I said in the regular season, but I think it's Florida State that gets revenge in the neutral site game. I believe in quarterback more when the crowd is not against them, and both have decent ones. But Florida State will learn and adapt from the loss and advance to the Final Four deservedly this time this season. But watch out for Georgia. Just like last year. Sorry. But yeah, they're going to beat you again. And then I have in the Sugar Bowl, Texas versus Georgia. Georgia will beat Texas again because Texas hasn't been in this position, and it takes time that Georgia has put in making many 4-team playoffs. And, you know, like Michigan had to put in time before they actually won the whole thing.
Yeah, we had to rebuild the entire program. It's not something you just step into and, we're going to win like it's the 90s.
Right.
It can't happen anymore like that. Just because you've got the one 5-star player in the country. Doesn't work that way anymore.
You got to build a callus. You got to learn how to be there.
You got to
under the lights, the most important games that anyone's been in.
Yeah, it's something you and I have no clue about, the pressure that's got to be when you walk onto the field with millions of people watching around the world, thousands of people in the stands, fireworks, smoke, everything.
Yep.
You got to be there.
Yeah.
And to these Georgia players,
it's nothing for them. They'll beat Texas.
Half of them are on their 4th time around. Here we are again.
Yep. And, we're coming up to Michigan, but yeah, same thing. All right. Oregon versus Utah in the Fiesta Bowl. A rematch, an old Pac-12 foe matchup there. Utah is physical and stacked with upperclassmen, and the quarterback is off injury now. This will be an interesting matchup between two old Pac-12 foes. Like I said, Utah has more Pac-12 titles than Oregon recently, which is true. And Lanning just isn't there yet. Whittingham's team is ready now. I think Utah wins this game versus Oregon. And then the final Elite Eight game is Ohio State versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Can you imagine that?
That would be pretty. That would be
Michigan and Ohio State playing each other in the Rose Bowl.
Our grandparents would be turning over.
No, they would say Bo too. Yeah, all of them. Yeah. This will be the 3rd time the game is played this season, and because 2 of 3 are neutral site instead of in Columbus, Michigan wins the final 2 that matter the most. They win the Big Ten title. They win the college football playoff quarterfinal versus Ohio State. So my final 4 is Florida State, Georgia, Utah, and Michigan.
Man, that'd be a gnarly. That'd be a good one.
All right.
I'm just thinking about how much money Vegas is going to make if that comes out to fruition.
And that's, you kind of think of that in the back of your mind when you're putting these predictions together. At least I do.
Well, I came out with, you have to a little bit. Mm-hmm. I already spoiled my pick between the Michigan-Florida State game, but I stand behind it. I don't think Michigan's got what it takes to get by them this year. I wish they did, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Who?
Florida State.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you already had said they're gonna
Yeah.
beat Michigan. Wow.
So and then
the Uyunglele is that good? You think?
I don't think he's that good. I don't think Orgy's that good.
Yeah.
And it's an untested thing. And I don't know if Edwards is going to be able to carry the entire thing. I know we
But
got a
there's
lot. I know we got,
Mullings is the beast, man.
but Mullings isn't tested.
He was tested last year. He ran a little too high for me. He needs to get down.
And hopefully he
all
learned
over
things.
people.
But that's what it all boils down to. And you know me, I'm more about the eye test instead of I don't care what's on paper.
Stats.
Paper doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
matters
You
in
want to
game.
watch
Matthew Stafford is one of the greatest quarterbacks Detroit Lions have ever had
on paper.
on paper.
Yeah.
I'd take Scott
What did he
Mitchell.
do
I'd pull him out of
in the
retirement.
game. So yeah, right. Right.
When your lead quarterback goes down and you cheer because the second string's coming in because now you know you might win the game.
Kitna or somebody.
That's being a Lions fan.
Yeah.
Going on to the second game, we got Ohio State and Penn State. Let's go in Penn State.
So they're gonna beat them twice.
Yes. Easily.
Penn State
Quite
easily beats
easily.
Ohio State.
I think
You heard it here first.
Ohio is gonna struggle from within too much this season. There's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. It's not gonna go the way they want.
And you said inside their offensive line,
Yep, they're
not up to par.
They're not gonna be able to gel. They've got too many people telling them what to do. There's no cohesion.
Okay.
And by the time they
I
find
see
it, it's gonna be too late.
I can understand where you're coming from because they threw it all together there. Getting all these transfers, Judkins and all these people, paying people to stay
Yeah.
like Michigan did last year.
Yep. Keeping some essential players that they need that they couldn't replace.
But not enough from within to be cohesive enough.
I mean, last year they relied on Marvin
And-
Harrison Jr. the entire season. That was the
Yeah.
ticket. That was.
Number 18.
And now what? What do they got now? I mean, I know they're stacked. They got great players, but
What
They
do you
don't
think
know what they're
about, is Will Howard an upgrade from Kyle McCord?
No.
No, I don't think so either. Kyle McCord, I don't understand why they chased him out of there. Anyway.
well, if you don't meet with the head office, bye.
Yeah.
And then it comes down to Notre Dame and Georgia. I think Georgia is gonna remind Notre Dame why they shouldn't be in the playoff system. They're not ready.
Okay, because they don't have a conference.
Yeah, you don't play any. Ooh, I beat Air Force.
Well, they
Yeah.
will have played Texas A&M,
Who?
USC,
Who?
Notre Dame. I know what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Florida State.
Yeah, they're gonna get ass raped. Like a-
Not sure. Anyway.
And then I got Utah taking on Bama, and Bama's gonna pound them. Utah deserves to be there, and they deserve their spot, but
Too many horses.
Alabama's gonna run wild, and it's just not gonna add up. No, there's my
All right.
top four.
So you got Florida State.
Got Florida State, Penn State, Georgia, Alabama.
Okay. All right, that's good. I like that. That could happen. I can see that happening. Now, we are going to do the semifinal here. The thing is, Michigan was automatically in for the last 3 years. Now we have to beat Ohio State twice before we get to this point. So, but we will. All right, here we go. Number 1, Georgia is taking on number 4, Florida State. Georgia beat them down last year. It will be a closer game because Florida State will not have opt-outs like we were talking about earlier. I think they will actually field their team because they want to win and move.
Yeah, that was their only problem last year is everyone went pro, everyone left, so of course they got embarrassed.
Right, like Ohio State when everyone
Yep.
left. Then
What are you gonna do when that
Missouri?
team leaves?
Congrats, Missouri. Way to go. No, but Georgia, it was a beatdown. But I think Georgia wins this game pretty handily, adding to Georgia's list of great teams that they beat. Told you all the teams that they beat leading up into this conference, into the national championship game. The 1 seed will be there. Will Michigan, the 2 seed, be there? They're playing number 3, Utah.
I haven't seen your bracket, but I got hopes.
Yeah, I think you probably already know. Utah is one of the few teams that I think can beat Michigan with the way they're built. The quarterback, the scrambler, he can pass, he can throw. The physicality on the defense.
Michigan always struggles if you decide to throw and run your quarterback at them. For some reason, we've never figured out how to shut that down.
Right. Yeah. So, but I think they'll be physical enough. That scrambling quarterback might win this game, and let's not forget we have Alex Orji. Although I love Cam Rising, I think Orji gets it done in this game. Running up the middle with Mullings and Edwards, flashing him everywhere, and Ben Hall, the horses we have in the running back room will get us this far, and we will have a rematch. Versus Georgia from 3 years ago, and they will be playing in a national title game this time.
That was a Cotton Bowl, wasn't it?
No, it was at their place, right?
It might have been.
Peach Bowl.
It might have been.
Anyway.
Well, you let us know in the chat.
Yeah, where was that game? where when we started the wrong quarterback? We started.
I know Clowney lit us up.
No,
that was
Carolina.
before.
That's way.
That was bad.
Way.
That's just bad memories. Unless we're playing everybody like App State.
No, but we started the wrong quarterback in that game. We started Cade McNamara, and then JJ came in and scored our only 11 points after we were already down.
After we already lost the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never had faith in Cade.
We're gonna have that. We're gonna have that revenge. You want me to tell you who wins, and then
No, we'll save that. I'll do my playoffs for
okay.
my semifinals. I got Florida State taking on Penn State. And as much as I've been talking about love for the Big Ten, I'm pretty confident that Penn State's going to walk away with that. I think Florida State's going to walk away. Penn State just spent too much energy, and they like we were talking before, they don't know what it's like to be there.
Yeah. Does Florida State?
Florida State does in the sense of program. It hasn't been that long since Famous Jameis.
Yeah, but I mean, they missed like 3-4 bowls in between that.
Yeah, but I think
they're better now, of course. But it's not like they're.
Penn State's going to have to run through the Big Ten now. They're going to suffer some hits. They're going to take some lumps and some bumps.
But they'll be healthy enough to get to this point, and then they'll lose.
And that's where I'm not sure with, so that's why I'm going to Florida State.
Okay. Wow, that's fascinating. What do you guys think about Florida State?
I think the anger from last season is going to definitely be carrying through. They're going to pull. They're kind of like a Michigan from last year. Everyone's against us. Well, here we go. And then I'll go with, to set up my national title game, we're going to have Georgia and Bama going at it again.
Wow, so they'll have.
I think we're going to have a rematch.
A three-peat.
And I'm thinking Georgia's going to pull away with it still. I think Georgia has a lot of anger and a lot of resentment over the last couple seasons.
Kirby Smart's going to have them in the right mindset to just go down.
It's time.
Yeah.
And so my title looks like Florida State, Georgia.
Wow. Wow. That's fascinating. And the rematch of that beatdown of the bowl game last year where Florida State opted out. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. I'm guessing I know who wins your national title.
I don't think it's hard to figure out.
Georgia?
I don't think that's hard to figure out. Yeah.
Georgia.
Go Dogs.
Go dog. Oh, man. So mine is a little bit different. In my national title, it's Michigan and Georgia, 1 and 2 seeds. And I think Michigan's run game is the most powerful in the nation. And it wasn't 3 years ago. Both these teams are different from that, I understand. But Orji and Beck are two different animals. Beck is a guy that likes to stay in the pocket and pass. And that is exactly what Michigan's defense loves to go up against. Get them off their position, off their toes, and they'll make mistakes on the back end. And we'll get some sacks, we'll get some turnovers. I think Georgia's defense is really, really good. And can they stop Orji from running the ball enough to keep Michigan's offense on the field and that defense off the field? Both these teams, I think, are going to want to control time of possession with the defenses that they have.
That situation right there, I think that's going to be important.
Yeah.
Michigan's going to have to control that game if they're going to win that game.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and not turn the ball over.
And that's yeah.
So, barring, I like that it's going to be just a physical national championship. When did we have that the last time?
A physical national championship?
Yeah, low scoring.
I think it was Alabama, Georgia, 6-3.
Oh, LSU, you're thinking.
LSU. Yep,
Yeah,
LSU,
way back,
6-3.
way back.
It's been a long time since the defense showed up in an actual game.
Yeah,
That matters.
it's been one-sided for the most part. Yeah, so barring any more injuries for either of these teams, I have Michigan repeating as your national champions in 2024. They will win 2 national titles themselves over the team that just won 2 national titles the years before. What do you guys think? Down in the comments below. Do we have anything else for the people?
Well, it's your show. It's up to you. I got nothing to add except for, man, I hope I'm wrong and he's right. Go Blue.
Thank you, Heather. Is there anything else in the comments?
Let's
that
go.
we need to- Let's go. Is all
Let's go
it is?
Blue.
Yep, let's
Man,
go.
thank you, cousin.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank
been
you,
great.
guys.
Thank you, chat. Let me know your predictions in the comments. And let's go Blue, baby. Have
Go
a
Blue.
great day. All right, how do I stop this?
Well, you're still alive, so I wouldn't be doing that.